Welcome to the Create and Chill webinar series with me, Kayla Huzar. I am here today, this week, all week, talking about maternal mental health and the strategies to help some of that. And I am a registered social worker, perinatal mental health professional, and I love the expressive arts. And so, in everything that I do it creatively with mindfulness. And I am really passionate about maternal mental health because I think there is a lot of narratives and nuances and stories that are told out in the world about mothers and motherhood and how challenging or easy or how to get it right or how to do it wrong, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And I am here to break down all the barriers around therapy, mental health, art, and the idea of having to do motherhood alone. Because that's definitely not something that I believe or use in my own practice in life. Motherhood is meant to be done with other mothers in community, in groups, in online spaces, whatever that looks like. So that is my passion. And before we move on, I would like you to gather a notebook and a pen, or a journal and a pen, art journal and doodle supplies, whatever feels right for you. And I just want to take a moment to ground ourselves. I intentionally like to bring the pace down. And this can feel uncomfortable for some people because life is very busy and you might be used to living on a kind of autopilot or a certain speed. And so when you're with me in these spaces, whether it's recorded, live, or in person, I really like to set the intention for myself and for the offering that we practice that slowing down. So as we ground ourselves into the exercise today, if you can, I'd like you to just take a look around your room that you're in. Notice a few things that you see, a few colors, a few textures. Knowing, seeing and feeling how you're holding yourself and in your body. If you need to remove those shoulders from your ears, if it would feel more comfortable to have your feet planted on the floor, if you need to grab water or you need to move your body. Just because we're watching this on a screen does not mean that you need to be sitting the entire time. So just take a moment to allow yourself that today. So our topic today is my stuck place. That's not my stuck place, it's your stuck place. And I understand and know and witness every day that motherhood is complex. It's layered, it's nuanced, it's generational. If you didn't know this, did you know that the egg that created you was inside of your mother, inside of your grandmother when she was pregnant with your mom? We are born with all of the eggs already in our bodies that we need to reproduce. And so you were an egg inside of your mom, inside the womb, inside of your grandmother. It's generational. We're influenced and it's complicated. There is a lot that makes up your reality, my capacity, and my views on motherhood. So, we're going to talk about the stuck places that we can get in motherhood and in life today. I just want you to take a moment and kind of name and become aware of the stuck parts of motherhood for you. What hurts the most? What feels like it's the hardest? And where in your body can you feel this? Right now, for me, my stuck place feels like it's in my legs. And it's like if I could describe the sensation, it's like a simmering coals of the fire, kind of hot, fiery. Some of it has gone a little bit dormant, in the fire, the wood starts getting that like black grayish look to it. I can like imagine that like the stuck place of my motherhood is like the underneath of the fire. It's not the flames, it's the burning embers down in here. And so I just want you to take a moment to reflect and write, if you have your journal, about the stuck places of motherhood for you. You can't write it, the words aren't coming. I invite you to just close your eyes and imagine this kind of metaphor for the stuck place. And as you think about that stuck place and start to name it or figure it out a little bit, it might present to you as patterns, narratives, those internal stories you tell yourself, stuff you can't let go of, stuff that gets to me no matter how chill or supported or regulated you feel. Could be caring about what other people think. So again, using your journal, just reflecting on what are your stuck places or place. And to go even deeper with this, I had a client say to me the other day, my friend recommended you to me because I was really frustrated with my other therapist because I wasn't getting deep enough. It felt too surface level. And so to bring you even deeper into this noticing and this awareness of your stuck place, I've included these journal prompts, and you can do them now. You can do them later. They'll be in the recording that I send out to you. And so when I say finish the following statements with your first thought, I want you to really feel into that first thought, because what comes after is often criticism, comparisоnism, feeding into that pattern or narrative that you have of your stuck place. And so in expressive arts therapy, we have a saying that your first thought is often your best thought. And just to throw in a little bit of extra for you, anxiety and intuition are not the same. And so your first thought often will come from a place of intuition, and everything after will be a stressor, an overwhelm, a barrier, an excuse, a reason why or how these feelings exist for you. So finishing the statements of, I am enough. I have, I feel, my stuck place is, Oh, and when it comes to my stuck place, I think I should. And I think I shouldn't. And I would like to. When it comes to my stuck place, I don't want to. I feel. And if I were honest with others about my stuck place, they would think that I'm being too hard on myself. If I were honest with myself about my own stuck place, I would know that. Sometimes I play into it. And I will start to notice my stuck place by being aware of those patterns, those narratives that I play into. Those are just some of my own first thoughts. I would like you to finish that with your own thoughts. I'll just give you about a minute and a half just to sit with that. Right. Even if you didn't get through all of them, I'd just like you to find a stopping place. And at the end of the week, I'm going to send out all of the journal practices just so that everybody has them for those of you on my newsletter list. Because these are great things to be able to come back to. Okay. I want to show you something. I'm going to try to do this so that you can still see me. So there's a spectrum of feeling stuck. And this is going to be kind of a disassociative, what stuck place? I don't know what my stuck places are. I'm not very aware of it. I don't know that I acknowledge this very much. And this one is I live in my stuck place. My stuck place is me. I am there. I am there all the time. I live here now. I live in the stuck place of not having enough, not being enough, not doing enough. I live here now. And so there's this, where this stuck place becomes your whole identity. And this is the lens that you see life through. And then over here, we have what stuck place. I don't even acknowledge that this exists over here. This is just over here. It's not part of who I am. I don't acknowledge it. If I ignore it, maybe it'll go away. Okay. And so can you find yourself on the spectrum of what stuck place? I live here. I live here all the time. It's part of who I am, every part of my being. Okay. What stuck place? I live there. And do you swing? Or are you permanent in one of these states? And some of the reasons we get stuck, maybe on that pendulum, maybe depending on the circumstance, who you're with, what's going on in your life, could be because of these reasons. These are just some of the reasons. You might not identify with any of them. You might be checking all the boxes, right? And so I wanna put this down for a minute. I want to acknowledge that our stuck place is part of us, contributes to our capacities, our context, the narratives, the people, the places, the things that we experience. And I want us to swing the other way now. And I want you to name your radiant resilience. What is your superpower in motherhood? We're not dismissing the stuck place. We're not ignoring it. We're just shifting into what is this resilience that you continue to feel? I say to clients all the time, you have survived 100% of your hard days, challenging moments, grief-stricken, mental health shifts, relationship discord. You have survived it. You've survived 100% of that. And so you have resilience. But when we are too stuck in this, we forget about this. We find it really easy to ruminate and overthink and over-research and never measure up and never feel enough in this. But what if we felt the resilience, our strength, the things that uniquely make us who we are, and embrace them and acknowledge them and accept that this is who we are and that we are capable of change. And so I want you to make a list of all of the ways that you are resilient in motherhood, in life. Can you feel that in your body? For me, it's coming out of my hands. I do a lot with my hands. And the sensation is tingly, the tingly sensation. And actually, it's probably about this color too. It's like light pinky blue. And I think if I could draw it, I would be able to give you an idea of the color and the shape, but it feels like that jitteriness or that vibration is coming out of my hands. It's coming out of my hands. And so I want you to take a moment to think of a metaphor of you being your wellest or truest self in motherhood. You are showing up, you are open, you are aware, you're curious. You're still going through the hard thing. You're still maybe stuck. You're still maybe there. But we need to name this and think of a metaphor for this to give us strength. We're just going to pause here for a moment so you can reflect on that. So, how much time do you spend here? How much time do you spend in the radiant resilience? How much do you acknowledge the things that you do in a day? How much time do you spend giving yourself credit and celebrating all that you are. And when you are taking care of yourself, when you're doing the work and you're showing up for yourself and you're having the hard conversations and you're doing the things, how does this change? How does it change your stuck place? How does it change the stories, the narratives, childhood experiences? How does taking care of yourself change this? Can it go from, I live here now, to, I have resilience? And maybe this slides away for a time and things can become not easy. I don't ever like to say that motherhood is easy. I think motherhood shifts and changes, and we shift and change with it. But can you see more of yourself in the resilience when you're taking care of yourself? And so, 3 things that we're going to talk about today when it comes to feeling stuck is awareness of your thoughts, patterns, and feelings. We all have patterns. We all bring things into this life. Some of it is ours and some of it is not ours. Circling back to that generational thing, right? Embracing the and leaning into discomfort. So the awareness of patterns, thoughts, and feelings, it's not judgment. It's not criticism. It's not beating yourself up. It's not getting stuck in. It's noticing patterns, thoughts, and feelings. It's allowing your emotions to come full circle. I have a feeling. I'm anxious. I'm sad. I'm grieving. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm burnt out. It's allowed to be here. All of that is allowed to be here. You can notice a resistance or an allowance of patterns, thoughts, and feelings. You can be unlearning and learning at the same time. You can notice the feelings and you don't have to get sucked in. You can notice the pattern, the feeling, the thought, and not have it become part of your identity. You don't have to. Embracing the and. Now, this is a technique that I was taught by my own therapist in a mom's group. And it's embracing that you can be more than one thing at a time. You can feel more than one thing at a time. You can acknowledge a feeling and accept it. You can be patient and you can be irritable. One of those things doesn't define who you are or how you show up every day. You can cherish those moments with your kids and also know that it is hard. You can feel stress, overwhelm, and burnout, and overload and overstimulation, and believe that you can do it. You can have certain non-negotiables and still show up in your life. For example, my husband is a shift worker. He works 12-hour shifts. He's gone before the kids get up, and he's home after we get home. And that is part of our life rhythm, is preparing for that, planning for that, having that be part of our reality. And there was a time when I was really mad about that rhythm and that routine. because the kids and I would just get into a rhythm, into something, routine and normal. And then he'd be on days off and it would feel like it was all thrown off. And I can still show up to that. You can be going through something really challenging and still honor what you need. You can be present as a mother and still take care of yourself. Leaning into the discomfort. These things are a bit challenging sometimes. They're things that we often resist. So we can name a thing and we can let it go. We can name a feeling, a situation, a circumstance, a boundary, an expectation. We can see it through, we can process it, and we can put it down. We can feel that radiant resilience. And we can remember how to lean into the discomfort. You can name, identify, and experience what it feels like when you are in your wellest or your truest self. Some of this might take hard work. It might not feel even within capacity or within reach right now. And so you can just do some of the work some of the time. You can do some of the work some of the time. And so I'd like to walk you through a bit of a visualization right now. And so if you're not in the space to close your eyes or meditate, or even get in the zone of it, I would encourage you to come back to this piece. But if you are, even if there's kids around, this is great practice for you to practice some of that mindfulness in the moment with children. I know it can be challenging, but if it wasn't something you were expecting today, just make your best of it. So I encourage you to close your eyes if you can. If you can't, I just want you to softly gaze at something in the room. I just want you to feel into your body right now. Feel into the places of your body where you feel stuck. Maybe those stuck places are places where you feel tension or stress or discomfort. And I don't want you to get overly critical or judgmental of yourself in this moment. We are naming the thing and we're setting it down. And if at any point you feel distracted or scattered or your kids need your attention, that's okay. You can transition, you can pivot, you can come back to this later if that's what it takes. And if those stuck places of stress, discomfort, unease, maybe you're feeling really jittery because, I said a bunch of things and you don't necessarily believe it yet. What is the color and the shape and the physical sensation of these places in your body? We're going to practice putting that down. And we're going to move into places of your body where you feel that radiant resilience, the strength, your mom's superpower. And I want you to feel how your body shifts and changes as you focus on these strengths. Does your body feel lighter, more open, a sense of ease or peace? And a big deep breath in. And I want you to finish the statement, I am. I just want you to linger in the silence for the next few moments, and I'll bring you back to the room after about a minute. The room. Slowly and gently. And I want you to write down that sentence of I am. And I want you to take it even deeper than that. And I want you to write down the resources that you have internally and externally, or resources that you need. So resources are the strength, the resilience, the superpowers you have, the people in your life who support you the most. Maybe your resource is going to yoga. Maybe a resource is that you journal every night. Maybe a resource is that you talk to yourself kindly. You notice when your inner critic is taking over and you do the internal work to put it down. I'm just going to give you about a minute to just make a quick list of the resources you have internally and externally, or maybe some ones that you need.
And so for the rest of your day, I want you to embrace naming, letting it go, your radiant resilience, and listening to that inner voice when it says, I need support. I need time by myself. I need to do some self-care. I need to go for a walk. I need to drink hot coffee. Listening to the inner voice. Your inner voice is going to tell you what you need. And when I listen to my inner voice, I know that I need alone time. I am still, I guess, an only child raised by a single parent. And my house was pretty quiet growing up. It's just me and my mom. And as an adult, married with 2 boys and a dog, my house is very loud. And when it is loud, I can easily get overwhelmed. And I can easily assume the identity of all of my stuck places. And all of my stuck places are that I don't have time, that I can't take the time, and that my kids need me more than I need myself. And then I end up running myself into the ground. And I become the parent that I never wanted to be. Yelling too much, demanding too much, not having the capacity to play or go on walks, play in the backyard. I want all those things for my motherhood. I want to have the capacity, the drive, and the energy to play with my kids, to be with my husband, to want to be with him. So when I listen to that inner voice and I get out of this stuck place and I take care of myself, and the way that I take care of myself, if you know me, it's creativity and mindfulness. It's alone time. It's accepting, acknowledging, feeling my feelings, setting challenging boundaries, having hard conversations, being accountable to myself and to others. And so this is just day 1 of 5 in the Create and Chill webinar series. And I'm going to be talking more about this as the days go on. But I have created a membership called the Mother Load, where all of your creative and mindful desires can be met with accountable self-care, community, and expressive art with me and with other moms. And so I welcome you to check that out if you feel inclined. If you don't, that's totally fine too. I will see you back here for tomorrow's topic of thoughts and emotions. Thanks for coming today.